big one sure can hunt, but I seem to have eluded him. You know, the first time we ever spoke, I brought you all a bunch of information about the Predator. And for 5 years now, I've been bringing you information on them as I can gather it. Oh, yes. And guess what? We actually have new information on this day, being the 100th episode. So, welcome back to I am Podan. On today's episode, we've got Predator Killer of Killers, the newest installment to the Predator franchise and the Predator lore and mythos. I, of course, loved this movie. It is fantastic. It is an animated movie. Oh yes, I found out that it was actually a secret-ish type of movie. We had heard about them making another movie, but did not know it was going to come out before this new live-action movie, Badlands. That's coming. Oh yes. Now, quick review of the movie. It was amazing. We get directly into the hunt in this one. Yes, we do. Every single story, there are 3 that interlink together into one final story to, of course, create more information and build out this Predator world. This story feels the most like comic book Predator stories. Yes. And it even connects very directly in ways to the most recent Predator comics from Marvel. We'll get into that in just a minute. But I think we need to get this episode started with a little bit of timeline additions, because now we actually have movies that take place before and after the ones we have. So first, let's run it down. We have, of course, in Predator Killer of Killers, there was the Viking part. This took place in 841 AD, now the earliest part of the Predator stories that we've seen in anything. Next, we have the Ninja in 1629, because remember, the beginning was actually when he was a kid, so the attack happens 20 years later. Now, there was Prey. This, of course, was in 1719. Oh, man. And then we have the pilot from 1942 in Killer of Killers. This builds around and allows them, a little bit later we'll find out why. And then, of course, Predator happens in 1987 and Predator 2 in 1997, and so on and so forth. Nothing yet has canceled out any of the movies at all. And maybe Predator Badlands will give us some more aliens and lead us to maybe some Aliens versus Predator good stuff. Yeah. So, let's get right into some more good stuff, like all the Predator stuff. Yeah! First, we're going to discuss the connection to Prey and the journey of the pistol. At the end of Prey, if you didn't watch the credits, they did have an animated sequence that displayed the entire film over again in a quick sequence. Then, at the very end, it showed the Predator's return. Now, if you've seen Killer of Killers, this scene will make perfect sense and continue the story perfectly. Very, very cool, and I'm fantastically happy that this has been done, so that way that end sequence didn't just go off to nowhere. Awesome. Now, the journey of the pistol, the connection that we must find eventually to get to Predator 2 because we put it in Prey. So, the journey now is that Raphael Adolini gives the pistol to Naru for medical help in Prey. This is now the first time that we have seen this pistol in the timeline. The Predators have obviously taken this pistol from Naru when they took her at the end of Prey. Then, in Killer of Killers, we see that the pistol is given to Torres for the battle in the arena. Then, later in the film, he loses it after being eaten by the giant creature. It is then, of course, assumed that it has been lost in the battlefield, in the arena, probably found again by predators. And, of course, we need to get to the elder that has it, that gives it to Hardigan at the end of Predator 2 for defeating his predator. Oh, I can't wait to see the connection that we get. Maybe the Badlands one gets it. Who knows? And then we're going to know where it goes in the future. Very cool. Now, let's go over the Predators of the movie and the new gear and / gear that they had throughout the movie and what it is. Super duper cool. The first Predator that we see in this movie is what I have dubbed the Viking Hunter. He had only one weapon. It was a hand replacement for a sonic punching type device. So that means that this predator is an amputee. He is missing one of his appendages. Very cool. No other visible weapons whatsoever throughout the sequence. He has a mask, of course, because he needs to breathe better. And he is a much larger predator, like the hybrids, first seen in Predators, and then later in the Predator, more explanation in that one. Next Predator was the Ninja Hunter, I have dubbed. This one had a lot more gear. He had the chain gauntlet, which was very, very cool and ninja-like. He had wrist blades, very classic. He had a large spear, uniquely single-bladed, that split to cut bodies to pieces. He then had dual plasma cannons, similar to the AVP Predator, but on one shoulder, not dual shoulders like the one there. Then he had mini bomb launcher in his gauntlet. This is, of course, like the Predator in Prey. He uses this to kill a bunch of the guys in that movie. Very, very cool and, of course, very effective. This Predator is notably more of a medium size, like our classic Predators, showing us that, of course, there are many sizes to these Predators and possibly multiple clans. So the Predators that we originally saw back in the 80s, 90s, of course the 2000s as well, they could all be from different tribes, explaining their gear differences and their different even beliefs in what they're doing. Then, third Predator we see is the Pilot Hunter, and he is very different from the rest of the Predators we have seen. This one, of course, has an eye patch and a breather, similar to the Predator 2 one, but this one is in his jowls. He also does not have a mask, maybe because he's flying his ship. Of course, his ship is special because it's more of a fighter. He is using this to battle, and we have seen this only one other time in the beginning of The Predator. Of course, our Predator Fugitive is using his ship to battle against the Assassin Predator, and that was the first time we saw something like this in live action, and now we've got it again. This Predator uses his fighter to take out airplanes during World War II. What a great time in the Pacific for that Predator. And, of course, he is equipped with harpoon chain shots, net cannons, and whip bombs to dispatch his prey. Very, very cool. Later, when they bring the story all together on Predator Homeworld, we do see another vehicle. This is a Predator speeder bike, which is very cool and reminiscent of the original AVP comics and the Kenner toys. The Kenner toy, then, was later recreated by NECA in awesomeness, and this is very cool to see this connection and to see these things all tying together. Then we have the main Predator of the movie, the Predator Warlord, dubbed by Ursa as the Grendel King. This is because when we see the first sequence of the movie, they give a little historical connection that the Grendel was real. He was probably predators. Because when they see him, they're not as surprised as you would think, and they just literally say, he's a Grendel. So that's pretty awesome. He is a very large hybrid-style predator, obviously, and he is adorning a Xeno tail cape, very, very neat, and bone armor, like the Alpha Predator. Awesome, connecting us to maybe hunting grounds and all of that good lore that we got from NECA in the video games. He then has a badass bone axe and a single-bladed bone wrist blade. Single-bladed, of course, very much like AVP and the Predators movie. Predators, like the Berserker. Awesome, and many additions because of so much combat, so much hunting in this movie. I want to see more gear when Badlands comes out. I can't wait. Next, we got comic references and connections this time. And of course, these connections come from comics that came out before this movie. So this is very unique and an awesome, awesome thing to occur. In 2023, Marvel, picking up the reins of this Predator franchise, started making comic books. And most people wouldn't probably guess, but they picked up where the Predator left off, taking the Predators into a somewhat future in the 2050s, 2060s timeline, before the Aliens stories pick up in any of the narrative that most of us would know. These stories, there were 3, creating a trilogy, starting with Day of the Hunter, The Preserve, similar to Predators, and The Last Hunt. This story is unique in creating the character Theta. She is a young girl who, after witnessing her family being killed by predators, starts her own crusade to kill all predators and find the one that murdered her family, who is of course missing a mandible, and she's gonna find him. She also, through her journey, kills over 30 predators alone, loses an arm and a leg through her journey, being of course replaced by different robotic parts and things, because we are just before the alien universe, so they could do that stuff. But it is very cool to see the torment this character goes through because of her vengeance, and this being the first time that we learn that the predators cryo-freeze people that have beaten them to take to the preserve, like in Predators and the comic book here, because we visit the preserve, but then also to better themselves, maybe just to kill anything that is better than them. Who really knows? We haven't fully gotten this answer yet. But this is a fantastic opportunity that they took to not only connect the comics to the movie, but now they have connected this to the original comics, because who Theta runs into when she learns this crazy secret on a ship that is very reminiscent of the ship that picks up Torres in Killer of Killers, she finds a whole ton of cryo-frozen people. Notably, she finds a man named John Schaefer. That's right. This is, of course, Dutch's brother in the first comic that ever happens. He is, before Theta, the most badass predator hunter of them all. I believe killing around a dozen or more predators before disappearing from the storylines. And now we have our answer. He was captured by the predators, or this clan, and cryo-frozen for future hunts. After being saved by Theta and thanking her, he is on a quest to hopefully find Dutch, because he has not given out hope that he could be frozen just like he was somewhere, not dead like he originally assumed in the original comic Concrete Jungle. Very awesome, and a fantastic job that these comics happened just before this movie, and they took this opportunity with Killer of Killers to connect to comics and movies that already happened and ones that are coming out next. Oh yes, that's right, because right around the corner, people, we got Badlands. Predator Badlands is going to come out November 7th, and this is going to be extravagant. The first time that the main character will be a predator, seeming to be a young blood. We don't know what the deal is, but he seems to be a rogue or a rebel that is doing something. He also encounters what seem to be Wayland Yutani androids, synthoids, and it looks like either Wayland corporate commandos or even possibly colonial marines encounter our predator on some alien world, well, hopefully fighting a ton of badass aliens along the way. But I'm getting ahead of myself. At the end of Killer of Killers, we do see that after Ursa makes her sacrifice, she is not killed because she's too valuable. She is put back into the cryo chambers, and this is where we actually see Naru is frozen as well, connecting everything together and letting us know that there's much, much more to come. Oh, yes. Fantastic. I can't wait until Badlands. That's what's coming next. And I am actually already thinking beyond that movie. What could possibly be next for Predator? Are we going to get more Predator stuff, more Predator animated films? Will there be an AVP movie coming? Will there be AVP animated films? Will we get more animated Aliens stuff, maybe? We do have Aliens Earth. I believe that will be after Badlands. Just filling up the whole Aliens and Predator universe as we can just keep getting the stuff. This is get us some games too. We need some games. Also, what if they sneak xenomorphs into Badlands? They have done a pretty decent job of sneaking stuff into these movies without us understanding or knowing until we've already seen it once or right when we see the movie, and that would be fantastic. I could totally see, like, the end part, we run into some Xenos, or maybe our Badlands predator kills a couple Xenos in the story somewhere, just so we have that connection, because, of course, the Warlord had xenomorph tails. So we know that they're killing them already. Very, very cool. Now, let's check out a quick clip of that, because there are some good shots in there, and it's looking too good.
I didn't think you survived. You're hunting something that can't be killed.
Fantastic. I can't wait for Badlands on November 7th. So watch that date and get ready. But, of course, the immediate. What did you think of Killer of Killers? Did you enjoy the fact that it was animated? It kind of snuck out of nowhere? Can they use this format for the other parts of the franchise, like Aliens, or possibly Aliens versus Predator? Could that benefit from going animated instead of live action right away? So maybe the focus could be Predator or Predator aliens and humans working together to stop an alien infestation. Yes, I would love to hear your opinions on this and what you think is going to happen in Badlands. I can't wait for this one. Again, November 7th, it's coming. I can't believe that they gave us a Predator, stopgap almost. Prep us, get us warmed up before we get to the big live action one. That seems, of course, where the Predator will finally get his main character ship. I can't wait for this. Also, can you believe it, people? We have made 100 episodes of I Love. I just want to thank you all for watching. It's been a ton of fun. There's so much more to come. There's going to be a lot to come now that there's more Predator movies, and of course all kinds of other stuff that I love to cover. Yeah! So as always, like, subscribe, and maybe I'll see you next time.